Mike, are we going live?
Hey, Tammy, we are live. Go for it.
All right. Greetings and salutations. I see you there, Mike, but I can't hear you, but I think there you go. Okay. Well, welcome everybody to Live from NCCE. I'm Tammy Dunbar, and I'll be your presenter for today, talking about the gift of time, efficiencies to make teaching a lot easier. Special thanks to all of my friends who are here today live to watch the presentation, and special hello to those who are watching this recorded, because this is being recorded and will be made available at a later time. Also, shout out to my friend Mohammed. He's up, what is it, 2 o'clock in the morning where you are? Oh my gosh, thanks for being here. Well, let's just get right to it, since this is just a short session, and let's talk about those wonderful efficiencies. But first, I'd like to introduce my friend working the back channels, and that is Mr. Jeff Bradbury. Jeff, are you there? He might be taking care of the edgy triplets, so he's going to be monitoring.
How are you today, Tammy?
There you are. I'm great, Jeff. How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic. I am looking so much forward to your session today because, look, I got to tell you, every single teacher out there watching this needs more time. So I'm looking for some of the big tips and tricks.
All right. Well, it's my pleasure to share it with you, and Jeff will be monitoring those Facebook and YouTube feeds. So let's just kick it right in. And I know I'm a Microsoft Innovative Educator expert, have been for 6 or 7 years. But my first G, gift, get it? I'm going through the 4 letters. G is for Google Voice. Yes, it's true. My district actually has the calling feature turned off in Teams. And I have found that Google Voice is an amazing time saver. It is a free app. All you need is a free Google account. And you go on to that waffle in Microsoft. My kids call it the awful waffle. But you go to the waffle and you go down to Voice. And you click and you get to choose your own Google Voice number. Now, I recommend that you pick one with your area code, but it's a free number. You select your number and then you've got it all set up. Why does this save time? Oh, okay. Number one, I don't have to use my personal device in order to make phone calls to family members. Right? I can use my computer. I simply plug in, my video's going there. I simply plug in my headphones and my microphone, and I can, over here on the right-hand side, just tap in the number that I want and hit send, and the number goes, and I can call. But the other really nice thing about it is that you can see over here on the left-hand side, once I've put the numbers in and I've identified which numbers they are, I have a list. I have a list of every single family I called. I have what time, what day, how long I was on the call. And there you go. You can see me typing in the number there, and the little blue button comes up, and you press that, and it's using your computer as a phone. You can even send text messages using Google Voice instead of your own personal phone. Really easy to do. Plus, there's also a way to triangulate, so you can get a notification on your personal phone when something pops up here, or you could have a notification sent to your Gmail account. This has been absolutely a lifesaver for me. Number one, it's important for me to be able to contact families, and they need to be able to contact me. So giving them something they can use to text message me or to send a call is awesome. But for me to be able to use my computer has been doubly wonderful, since some of us are working from home and don't want to use our home phone numbers. Oh, and what you're seeing here is how you simply take the number and hit the plus sign next to the person, and you can personalize the number so that you know who you're calling every single time, and add them to your contacts. So it's also, of course, an application on your personal cell phone, so you can also get the messages and make the phone calls from there. I know it's kind of weird making a phone call from your personal cell phone using your Google Voice, but some of us don't want to give out personal information. And so this is just a really nice way to save time and to keep a great record of all of the families you're calling and getting in contact with, because a lot of times administrators want to know that you're reaching out to families. This way, I don't have to write it down or go into our student LMS and type in, I called Bell's mom today, or I talked to Jeremiah's great grandma. It just pops up right in here, and I can simply print out the list and show them that I made contact with them. So G in gift is for Google Voice. So let's go ahead and talk about the I, and you probably guessed, since I am an MIE, that the I for me is Immersive Reader. How does this save time? Oh my stars, I don't even know where to start. Wait a minute. Yes, I do. So first I want to show you what it looks like. So it's this wonderful little sign with the book and the sound icon. So when you see that and click on it, you can see what it does is it allows you to manipulate the size of the type, the background color, all of these incredible things that help readers, that help make it easier. You can see here, you can adjust the text size, serif, sans serif font. You can change whether it's yellow in the background. You can show syllables, nouns, verbs, all of that. But the money is here where it's translate. And I can translate this entire document into Spanish, or better yet, a family member can do that. And you can see here, this is a story the students are supposed to read. Well, there's that same icon, and check it. If a family member who only speaks solamente habla español, if they only speak Spanish and they want to know what their student is doing, boom, here it is for them to take a gander at so they can help their student. And of course, you can also be read out loud. So if you need that accommodation, a male or a female voice, the voice faster, the voice slower, it is absolutely incredible. Now, I also love using my Immersive Reader on Wakelet. I'm going to restart it here. Wakelet is another great place where you can put resources for your family members. You can put links, you can put videos, you can put all kinds of stuff. And so when we had our parent-teacher conferences, which were all like this, all digital, I created this Wakelet for our families because some students were looking for extra ways to learn coding, or they wanted to practice their multiplication tables. So I wanted to put together a whole bunch of resources for families. Now, of course, not a lot of people realize this, but Immersive Reader is on Wakelet, and you can see the little icons right here on the Immersive Reader. Why is that important? Well, again, I'm sending this home to families. And if I have a family, there's my welcome message. And if my family can't read it, they simply have to click on the Immersive Reader icon. And of course, you would have to take a little bit of time, maybe make a short video to train them how to do that, right? But it's very simple to do. And then once they get online, as you can see here, they're going to click on the book for reading preferences, and they can choose one of, did I mention 60 languages? And adding. What's also interesting, yeah, there it goes. You can do it by word or by the entire document. And there it is. If the family member wants to go back to the original language, you can see over here, they can actually go from Spanish to original and back and forth. So this is such a powerful way. It saves me time because I don't need someone to translate it for me. And it saves time for the family members because they can look at it and say, oh, I don't know what this means. Oh, wait, I can translate it. So it helps communication, which is what we need in this digital age, right? We need to have that time where we can communicate and collaborate with family members. I mean, check this out. I had a student last year whose mother only spoke Mandarin. And so when I sent her this, she sent me back a note through her son and said, this is amazing. So think of the time it saves you, because I certainly could not translate into Mandarin, and I couldn't translate into any language other than a little bit, un poquito de español. So this saves us time in communicating, but it also puts power into the family member hands, because think of what distance learning is all about. I mean, it's all about empowering students, but we need those family members on board too. And so to give them as much information as we can in a language they can understand makes it powerful and helps our students reach success. Now, a lot of people don't realize Immersive Reader is also available in the new Microsoft Edge, which is Chromium based. So you can see here, it's as simple as opening up a website and look, there it is right there. I just have to click on it and it will do the same magic that you've seen before. So think of how wonderful this is for families, for students, for emerging readers. It's just a time saver and a student engager and empowerer. So I recommend for the iron gift, Immersive Reader. Well, of course, you had to know that the F in gift is FlipGrid because I flip for FlipGrid. FlipGrid is an amazing free, teacher's favorite F word, free website and app that students and families and teachers can learn to really enhance not just education, but to build community. Build community, yeah, and to save time. So take a look. If you go into your FlipGrid and click on, let me go back here, click on the Discovery tab, you're going to discover a plethora, an amazing amount of resources. They just introduced Topic of the Day, which changes every day, and Wonder of the Day, which is affiliated with Wonderopolis, that these are already put together lessons. These are amazing. And all you have to do is click on it and assign it to your students, right? So this Discovery Library has an amazing number of topics, wonders, and partners, which I'll show you a complete list in a little bit. Also, here's the other thing. They have topics that come up every day. What inspires you? Some counts. Yeah, there are some of the partners. I really love the Just For Me because they know the ones that I use often, True Truths and a Lie, some fun things for community building. Great collections that go along. This is Accessibility Awareness Month. Certain people who post, certain educators who post content. And then best of all, save me time. How do I find a topic? All I need to do is select my audience. In this case, I'm going to select middle school. And you'll notice, that everything under audience switches to, right there it is, to middle school. So now I've got everything for my audience. And perhaps I'm looking for something in digital citizenship. And now you can see it has drilled down and it has found every single FlipGrid topic that's been posted for middle school students in digital citizenship. Boom, just saved myself a ton of time. But wait, it goes even beyond that because now I can click on one that I find interesting and say, oh, I want to save this one. So I can use the new ribbon feature, add it to my collection and save it. Wait, there's something else that I can do. It's true. Once I've added this topic to my favorites, I can also customize it. So if I want to go through and say, well, I really want to use this for my class, everything's already put together. But what I really need to do is I need to make sure that the students can't put attachments in because I don't like them to be able to attach. So I can edit this. I can accommodate how I want. I can tailor it to how I want this lesson to go and simply click on update topic. And there I have a lesson ready to go right out of the chute when the kids are there. Think how much time that saves. Now, don't forget, there are a lot of partners who add content to FlipGrid. You can see here, there are, 5 times 6, 30 partners right here that you can see. Code.org, don't forget, December is going to be the Hour of Code. Minecraft is a big hit. And just as an aside, my students and I do some of our fun hangout meetings in Minecraft worlds. Wonderopolis, Lego, Bunsy, there are just an amazing amount of partners that have content up here that is amazing. And then just as an aside in FlipGrid, they've now added the ability for students to comment with text or video. Think about how we can save time in building community, right? Because how hard is it in this kind of environment to build that kind of community? But to give students an opportunity to comment on each other's work is incredibly powerful and build some relationships. Now, just a couple of things I wanted to point out. Number one, I love using the shorts because I love reading out loud to my students. And so I use the shorts to record chapter by chapter of the books that I'm reading to my students. And what's nice is it becomes just this super easy URL that I can share. And I can actually, since we're a Microsoft Teams district, I can click on Teams and assign it to them directly into Teams. I don't even have to go back into Teams. I can send this assignment into Teams. It creates the assignment for me. If I'm a Google Classroom, I can do the same thing. Or if I have a Remind account, which is a very nice website that I have used for communications with families, I can post it right to there. Or I can just give them the direct link and have them watch it. When I record my videos, there is an amazing number of, there are effects, frames, emojis, all kinds of things. You can see here, I've added a picture of the book that I'm reading and the title and chapter, and I turned it into black and white because this is set back in the 1940s, and so I wanted it to feel a little old-fashioned. So there are just all kinds of incredible filters and frames that you can use to really bring the video to life and engage your students and have a little fun, let's face it. Now, another thing that saves time in FlipGrid is using it wisely. So we know that we've got students working on math problems, and how difficult is it for me to be able to work one-on-one with students to hear how they're doing with something as complicated for my fifth graders as mixed numbers and improper fractions? Not a problem in FlipGrid. All I need to do is, you can see here, I assign them 2 mixed number improper fraction problems. And I asked them, I had a video so I could show them how to do it, but I invited them to use the whiteboard feature. And that's this one right here. Whiteboard, you can click on it. It can be a whiteboard or a blackboard or a chalkboard. And so those students who are shy to be on camera don't need to be shy. All they have to do is, with their stylus or their finger, go ahead and work right in their assignment, their problems, and talk about it as they're solving it. So I can go through and watch each video and hear how the student is solving the problem and really get a feel for it. And then I can give them video feedback. So how wonderful is this to be able to have that time to do that, right? I love being able to hear my students and their thinking. One other thing that I've found in FlipGrid that really helps build community is to do this. This was my favorite one so far. And you can probably see, oh, apologies. You can probably see that I'm trying to stop this for a moment. There you go. We had over 1,100 views on this. This was my class at the beginning of the year. I was trying to figure out a way, how do we introduce ourselves? And I thought, just show me your favorite place where you live or favorite thing that's where you live. And so I went ahead and showed them my favorite thing where I live and then invited them to do the same. And I'll just show you a little bit of it.
My favorite things about where I live is my piano. Did you know I play piano? It's true.
I figured if I did something and showed them I wasn't afraid to be on camera, they wouldn't be either. And you can see each student posted something up. They were excited to show us their motor scooters, their trampolines in the backyard. And suddenly we could put a name to a face and we had their personality on. And they were so excited to share it. Oh, what is that? You mean Immersive Reader is in FlipGrid as well? Yes, it is. Oh, my stars and whiskers. So that is why FlipGrid is the letter F in gift. And of course, as you can see now, the letter T is for Teams. I am a big lover of Microsoft Teams, and I have lots of things to show you in Microsoft Teams. One of the things that really saves time in Microsoft Teams is the ability to reuse assignments. I give my students a paragraph of the week every week or a journal prompt. And what's easy is I just need to go in when I create an assignment. And instead of creating a new assignment or quiz, I create one from an existing assignment. And I select, there's the journal prompt that's the most recent. I select it. I click on the next button, and it opens up a duplicate of that prompt. So I can go in and change 7th to 8th. I can change the dates and whatever I need to change in here, and then click on assign. Boom, saved myself time, especially for assignments that repeat. We have a math quiz every week. We have a journal prompt every week. What a time saver in Microsoft Teams. But wait, there's more, because one of my favorite tabs is called Insights. And you just use the plus sign that's up here and you search for this app. It's called Insights. Why is it great? It's amazing because I can take a look at each one of my students and I can see day by day when they were active. And when I'm on a single day, I can click on these and see exactly what they did and where they were and how long they were on. This has been a lifesaver, and I just have to share a little giggle with you because it says 2 out of 36 are not active. That's because I added my principal and vice principal to this list so they could walk in and come into some of our classroom meetings. And I had to tease them and tell them, you're not doing your homework. I'm getting the notification and insights. You better go and do your homework because I have them as members. So that's kind of a giggle. But you can see I get this wonderful report every week, every day. I can look at it for specific days, the past 7 days, the month, or the entire year. I can drill down to a single student so that if I have a family member who reaches out and says, hey, my student, I don't know how well he or she is doing. Can you tell me, are they online? Are they doing their work? I can't tell from here. And I simply have to, let's just say I would click on Desiree's name and I would just have Desiree's information up there. I could do a screen snap, which by the way is Windows key Shift and the letter S, and then Control V, paste it into an email back to the family member and say, here's when your student has been on, here's the kind of work he or she has been doing. Insights has been wonderful to let me know. One of the interesting things is to let me know when the students are online. What's been interesting in this digital world is that students are online a lot later than I thought they would be. Some of them past midnight and probably shouldn't be. Another thing that I like is I like being able to create schedules, and I do this in PowerPoint, save it as a JPEG, and then paste it into my Teams. I love in my general channel, which is right here, I actually have this set up so only I can post messages in it. How does that save me time? Saves me time because students can't post stuff and get in the way in there. That way, everything that I announce in my general channel doesn't get lost. Students can't post in there. So they can just easily scroll back to each day's list of things to do. And oh yeah, Immersive Readers in Microsoft Teams as well. It's ubiquitous. It's all over the place. So that's another thing I like doing is taking JPEGs, making them out of PowerPoint slides, and then posting them into Teams. And you can see here, I've sent these out to families on the Remind app, and I've used my Google Voice number. The most important thing is to be able to contact families and have them contact you and get out that information. So I love making these little slides in PowerPoint, saving them as JPEGs, and then posting them up on Remind, posting them up on texting them on Google Voice, doing everything that I can to get that information out. And by the way, I also like the fact that I can put tabs such as what you just saw from FlipGrid directly into Teams. How does that save time? Well, students don't have to put in a code. My students have Microsoft email addresses, so all they do is click on the tab, log in, and they do everything on FlipGrid directly within my Teams, which is so easy and so handy. And I always try to think about how it works for kids. Now, I stuck this in because I know it's being recorded, but I love that I can even do a Bitmoji classroom as a tab in Microsoft Teams, and it requires a little bit of coding onto the end of the link. And so I recommend, I'll stall for a few seconds if you want to take a screen snap of this or go back on the recording, but it is possible to post this. So it's a tab in Microsoft Teams and it just opens up and all of these become beautiful links, just like any regular Bitmoji classroom. Oh my gosh, I still have a couple more. I love that I can switch up my backgrounds in Microsoft Teams. Is this saving me time? Yeah, a little bit, because what it's doing is it's a little bit of social emotional here. I like taking student work and posting it up on my wall and sharing it out with the students. So when we're having our face-to-face sessions in Microsoft Teams, or you could do the same in Google or Zoom, check it. I have this as my background and they can see their own work up there and I can point out some of the things, which is super cool. Or if I want an announcement, you can see I've made this so my head will fit in the middle and I want to make sure there's something super important. I post it up in my background in Microsoft Teams when I'm meeting with my students face to face so they can't say they didn't see it. so they don't forget. And by the way, speaking of social emotional in Microsoft Teams, I love the Praise app. Go ahead and hit the plus and get this app. And you can see what it allows you to do is to send these cute little badges to a student. Like Natalie did a great job. She helped make a friend with Talia, who is kind of feeling lonely. This distance learning is tough. I asked Natalie if she would reach out to Talia, and now they're working on the global Minecraft challenge together, which is super cool. So I sent her a little praise. And my friend Tice, he got all of his multiplication, division problems, and extra math, gave him a shout out. They love getting little badges like this. By the way, there's one other cool thing that you could do. You could let the students pick your background, and that's their reward for the day. And yes, that was my background for a day, a big, giant, delicious pizza. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the gift of time. Google Voice, Immersive Reader, FlipGrid, and Microsoft Teams. And I challenge you, if we taught fearlessly, if we weren't afraid to try new things, what more could our students learn? Hey, Jeff, are you still there? Did I have any questions? Because we've got a few minutes before it's time to wrap up.
You know, the question that's on my mind is, how do you get started? You're sharing off all this amazing things, but it's overwhelming, Tammy. Every time I see you present, just so many things are hitting me. Where do I focus? What do I do tomorrow morning?
Well, tomorrow morning, you might want to take a look. If you're not a Teams person, you might want to go ahead and get that Google Voice, because that's been amazing. And go ahead and look on FlipGrid and look on the Discovery tab and find some lessons that you could assign to the students immediately and put it directly in a tab in your Teams.
That's very, very cool. Now, what happens if I was looking to do something that wanted to help me save time, and I had like another half an hour, maybe next week sometime? What would I do if I wanted to really learn how to use technology, but do it in a time-saving way?
Ooh, wow. What would you do if you wanted to learn? What you could always go back and watch these amazing live from NCCEs. They're very short, 30 minutes long. And I actually think, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you're coming up next week.
Me?
Jeff's doing a session called Use Microsoft 365 to save time each day and have more family time. So NCCE is putting on these little 30-minute sessions to help everyone. And that's our theme this month is time. We're time savers. And so, Jeff, we want to give us a little pitch for next week?
You know, I've been using Microsoft Teams all for about 3 or 4 months, and it took me a long time to actually dive into it to figure out what it was. But as soon as I learned a little bit about it, it was just so easy to start picking up things. So if you come back next week at 7 o'clock, we are going to actually start with a brand new, fresh team, and we are going to build a pretty awesome, robust learning activity, learning dashboard, if you will. But it doesn't always have to be Microsoft. We're actually going to be learning how to use Teams and Microsoft and Google and all this other stuff together. You never know. You might even get a special guest. Dr. Dunbar might show up. You never know. You got to check it out live from NCCE next week at 7 o'clock, only here on NCCE.
Oh, be sure you tune in. So everyone, thanks again for being here with us today. If you need to get a hold of me, it's tdunbar@ncce.org. I am one of the proud professional learning specialists at NCCE. So is my friend Jeff. And we are here to help as much as we can. And you can always reach out to me on the Twitterverse at Tammy Dunbar. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been recorded. So we thank you for your time. We thank you for everything. And hey, have a wonderful rest of your day. And we'll see you back here next Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern for Jeff Bradbury. And use Microsoft 365 to save time each day and have more family time. Thanks for being here, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye, Mohammed.